What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another installment of Kickback Conversations. I'm your boy, Brandon Scott. Today, we're talking about Derrick Jaxn and his wife and the apology video and all of those different things. I've entitled this episode, 3 Things Derrick Jaxn Didn't Tell You. And my man has spoken a lot. He has said a lot in this last week, that we have to dissect and analyze and go from there. But as somebody who works in the relationship industry, who has worked in this industry for, a long time, hosting events and coaching and matching and being on panels and all these different things that I got a chance to do and I still do, it doesn't make me comfortable talking about this because I feel like I'm talking about one of my peers. I don't know him personally. We do know, we have mutual people we know in the industry and so forth and that kind of thing. I've had people come to my events, they've gone to his events and that kind of stuff, but I don't have a connection with this person, but he is somebody in the industry. And it's like, I compare it to like black folks. Like there are certain things that happen in society that are not good. And the one thing that we say to ourselves is, man, I hope they're not black, right? Because we know what happens with one person can reflect negatively on all of us in some kind of way, even though we have no affiliation with that person, because we are affiliated in some kind of way of having something in common, it can affect us negatively. So I just want to just talk about those things. I'll talk about some of my personal experiences too, and let you guys know, game, like what goes on sometimes in the industry that is all about love and healthy relationships, but some of the things that actually go on that are not so positive and can bring about certain things that cause confusion and such. So I'll just go right into it. The number one thing that I saw when I watched, let me kind of give you, before I go into the number one point, let me give you some kind of background about me, just personally. So being somebody who's a relationship coach, who's working in this industry, I think that the one thing that stands out, especially is in dating, right? At times of me being single and dating and those kind of things, it can get very dicey. One, because you have to date somebody who's a secure woman. As a man working in this industry and working with a lot of women and a lot of single women, you have to date somebody who's very secure within themselves, and you have to make them feel secure, right? It's my job to make my lady feel secure in our relationship or even as we're dating, because what happens a lot that people don't know behind the curtain is you get a lot of people that you're working with sometimes who can cross the line with you, right? Whether that be flirtatiousness, whether that be inviting you out on a date, just sometimes the lines can get blurred. And I think that's part of it. And you have to be the person that is the professional and understand these things and says, you know what, I can't allow, this to happen. I have to be very clear cut. Plus, when you are working with someone's emotions, with their feelings, to me, it's a circle of trust that you have let me in your circle of trust to access parts of you that maybe no one has known about you. Maybe nobody even you dated has known about you. So I take that responsibility seriously. It's not a game to me. It's not a joke. It's not something for any ulterior motives. I just feel like it's something that you have to be very delicately careful with, because you can damage somebody, and who might be in a very vulnerable space or place. And I think that's the number one thing too. And also in dating, I've had situations where people go out with me and we're out at dinner just having a good time, and they're like, oh wow, am I doing everything right? Am I doing this? And I'm like, girl, I'm not tripping. I'm off the clock. I'm not analyzing you. I'm not coaching you. I'm just spending time with you and enjoying this process of getting to know you. So that can get in the way too, because the brother who's the accountant or the brother who's the barber or whatever his profession is, he's not getting asked those questions about if you're doing this right, you're doing that right, and so forth and so on. So just let you guys know before we get into Derrick Jaxn, like just some of the things that the industry presents people slide into DMs no matter what industry you're in. But I will say it's a different slide, because you can host an event and get 3 people, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people slide into your DMs. And you're like, whoa, like I just met somebody at an event and said hello. And did you have a good time? Or, you know what I mean? So those kind of things can come up. And you have to just be very mindful of it. So getting into the Derrick Jaxn interview, my initial, someone called me and asked me, did I see it? And then they sent it to me. And I didn't know all the backstory behind the young lady. I think her name was Candace, who said that, she was in an affair with him and all that kind of stuff. Didn't know all of those different things, those details. But watching the video of his apology was deeply disturbing to me. And I think it was something that he probably thought was going to close the chapter and end the questions, or kind of just get out in front of it. I don't know what his thinking was, but it did not work. It was not successful. That mission did not land. And I think there's a couple things I just wanted to just like delve into that I felt like we have to talk about. So number one is, in this industry, you rely on income from your brand, right? So a lot of people don't really realize that. So I thought to myself is, people don't realize that Derrick Jaxn is not just a guy. He's a brand now. When you have over 1 million followers on Instagram and these different sites, and you've done certain things, you're a brand now. You're representing your brand, and your brand can take a hit. So it's not like a friend of mine called me. He was like, yo, like Will Smith and Jada, they had that whole entanglement thing. And I was like, yeah, they had that, and that interview, and I did a pod last year about that. Like, that interview was weird. And I mean, the interaction with August Alsina, we know some of the details on that. But the point I made to my friend was, Will Smith can go do a movie next week, and people are going to go rock out and go see that movie. So his relationship with Jada, whether it's damaged or hurt or painful or whatever, does not affect if people are going to go see that movie, right? We've seen that even on a very negative standpoint with R. Kelly. People, look, Surviving R. Kelly came out, and we saw all the heinous things this dude was doing. We saw the video before that, what he was doing. And people still go to the cookout and they step in the name of love. People, even after Surviving R. Kelly came out, was going to the club and taking pictures with him and all this other stuff, right? And streaming his music and everything. So movies were Will's product that he was selling, right? R. Kelly sells music. So even though whatever happens and he's a sexual predator, people still buy his product. Derrick Jaxn is different, because guess what? His entire product is the relationship industry. His product is predicated on having a healthy relationship, right? Now, nobody knows his bedroom or what happens behind closed doors. We don't know those things, but he's talking about this every day. That's what he's selling. That's what his audience wants to consume from him. So at the end of the day, this is damaging on all fronts. It's not just I cheated on my wife, right? He cheated on his wife, but he cheated on his life and livelihood and brand. All of those things are affected all in one. So what I wanted to point out was, he talked about, I mean, he keeps endorsing this book, and he keeps endorsing this book. And my thing was, when I was watching the video and the other videos and all these videos that he's done, his wife's done, why are y'all not asking, like, Derrick, you need to be asking for recommendations on books for you to read. Bro, you need to ask on recommendations for books for you to read and consume for your spirit right now. You do not need to be pushing a book. Nobody wants to buy that product right now based upon all the things that have happened, based upon you not being upfront, based upon you not telling the truth, trying to save face, then doing it. It's, come on. Nobody's buying that, bro. Like, you need to be asking your audience, what can I read so I can be a better person and not be narcissistic anymore? That's my first thing. Also, in that same vein, I always tell people I believe in relationship role models. Relationship role models are people, may not be perfect, but people usually who are a little older than you, who've been through some things that you haven't been through, and you can benefit if you and your significant other would actually get a chance to just talk to them and spend time with them. A lot of people say, "Oh, my parents, God bless your parents, they're great." I don't think the best relationship role models or relationship mentors, rather, would be your parents, because your parents are biased. They love you to pieces, and sometimes it's not even your parents are trying to be biased; they just are, right? So they're always going to sometimes take your side on things, or maybe be a little bit too harsh on you on certain things, right? So I feel like it should be an older couple, maybe it's from your church or your community or neighbor, or somebody, you know, a family friend, or somebody that you should bounce some ideas off of and talk to, and you talk to openly, and they can talk to you, say, about mistakes they've made, things that they could have done differently or better. Derrick, where are your relationship role models? Where are your relationship mentors? Where are they? Because this level of behavior for this long, you know, and treating this young lady this way, they're not around. Either they're not around, or you are just not listening to them, which goes back to the first thing. You don't need to be pushing a book. You need to be reading books. You need to be soaking more in to really get to a better place. And the other thing I want to say is that I don't judge how anybody, like, you know, handles their marriage or relationship, whatever, but why is this the first time we really met your wife? You said you've been in this industry for almost 10 years. And bro, you didn't get married like last year, from what I've been told. You've been married for a minute. We've never met her. We've never seen her. You've done videos from your car for years. And we've never, when I ask people, and people are calling me and saying, "What do you think?" I've had numerous conversations with people who follow Derrick Jaxn for years, seen his videos, sent it to friends, some of my really good female friends, you know, whatever. They're like, "Yeah, this and that." They did not know he was married. To me, that is problematic. When, as a man, you talk about healthy relationships and people do not even know that you're in one. They don't even know that you are married, that you have gone before man and God, your family and friends and everybody, and we don't even know that you're married. But the one time that we figure out that you're really married is when you have to do an apology video after you have brought shame and disrespect and embarrassment to your wife. That is out of control. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, y'all. That is out of control. So I know a lot of people with social media don't like to expose or present their significant other for a variety of reasons. I get it. I understand it. But when you are in this space and you're talking about healthy relationships, it would be helpful if people knew that you were just in one, like you were married. Even if she was your girlfriend for a while, I get that. But you were married and we didn't even know? Y'all got a whole family together? That's not good. So I just wanted to like talk a little bit about that, just about the monetization part of it, like how this is a business for him and how I feel like he was apologizing for the brand, not himself. Okay. So let's follow that. My second point, I wanted to talk about how did he get in this industry for ulterior motives, right? And let's unpack that for a minute, because I feel like a lot of people, who, if you just are a good-hearted person, you think, hey, if somebody's getting into the relationship industry, the dating industry, dating coach, or whatever, they have good motives. They want to help people. They want to help people find love. They want to help people find happiness. They want to help people overcome their issues or traumas, or understand what their non-negotiables are, understand what their values are, all of that stuff, right? Solid. I get it. Let me tell you right now, somebody who works in this industry has been around a lot of these folks. A lot of these people have ulterior motives. They're not in this game for the right reasons. The reasons I just named, that's not why they're in it. That's not why they're in it. Many of them are in it for fame, for fortune, for clout, to have their name out there for other things that they want to do. to make money. I get it. I mean, you want to monetize, you gotta feed your family, but it's not. It's like a doctor who goes to med school only because they want to make money, right? I don't want that person operating on me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that person diagnosing me. I want the person who really cares about healing people, about making people better and taking care of sick people. Oh yeah, and by the way, we do make a good salary, but I got into this because I wanted to be somebody who actually help people and help solve diseases or combat certain things in my community I saw that were an issue for so long that we haven't dealt with. Like, that's why I got into this. It wasn't the money thing, because I've had great years. I've had some years that weren't that great. Like, the money thing wasn't the reason I got into this. I got into this because number one, a friend said I was good at it, right? And I helped them, and they were like, yo, you should do this. Like, you should really take this more seriously. And I really like it when somebody is unhealthy and has been in an unhealthy place in their relationship journey or dating journey, and I'm able to assist in some kind of way. Maybe they don't have a big brother. Maybe they don't have a good friend they could talk to, or people who in their circle to give them wise counsel. And I just try to do my part, right? Not perfect. I'm not perfect. I made some mistakes too, but I just try to do my part. But I'll say my motive has always been pure. I want to do this because my goal is to help people. It's not for clout and my name in the stars, all that kind of stuff. It's not for that. What God has for me is for me. It will come in the way and time it will come. But my motive every single day is, what is the best for this person? What's the best for my client? What's the best for my audience? Like, what am I doing this for, right? If I die tomorrow, then I give them the best of me so that they can be better in some way, right? And I can learn from them, and we can learn from each other. So I say all to say, some men get into this dating industry to pander to women. I'm telling y'all real stuff. Telling them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. I get in trouble often because I get messages from a lot of my ladies out here who supported me for years, and they like, Brandon, do better. I don't like when you said that. You know what I mean? Like, and I take it and I hear them. I listen because your perspectives are valuable, and my verbiage and things that I say, I need to be accountable for those things, and maybe I can do better and I can learn. I'm fully enrolled in the class of life, and I have not graduated yet. So I'm a life learner, but I don't pander. Like Derrick has been pandering to women for years to increase his social media following and to all those different things. I think we've seen that, and now it's kind of come back to bite him. The other thing, I think some men get in this industry to thirst trap. And I call it a DM dig, right? When your DM just be popping and you just be digging in through it to see, oh, what's up? Oh, what's she talking about? What's she talking about? Whatever like that. And thirst trap, So I just feel like those are not authentic motives. And I'm a person, I believe, you reap what you sow. Like, if you're getting into it for that, it's going to catch up with you, right? Because you are playing with people's emotions. You're playing with people's hearts. You're saying to them what they want to hear. For an express ulterior motive, right? And we saw how this has been. So that's one thing. And I just want to say that I think that his wife, it seems some of her posts, and I don't know her personally, but it seems that she might be an insecure young lady. Just from her, I saw a post of she saying she dresses differently and tries to do this and tries to do that. I feel like she might have done that because maybe he was cheating on her and she was trying to figure out a way to please him. And if I dress like this other girl who he's cheating with, maybe he will be more welcoming to me and he will stop, and those kind of things. And I think that's a terrible place to be in, to put your significant other, your wife in, or partner into that mode where they feel like they have to be somebody else or be like somebody else exactly in order for them to receive healthy love, right? So I think that's a very dangerous thing. But the third point I wanted to make to you guys is just body language. Watch how, look, one of my good friends always tells me, watch how they move. Rachel Maddow has a famous saying. She says, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. And that's a lesson for a life, right? Anytime you are in trying to figure somebody out and figure out their, their motives and who they really are as a person and all those different things. Don't listen to what just what they say. Watch how they move, right? And Derrick's body language over the last 10 years and actions have been a little, right? First and foremost, why does he always tape out of his car? I thought about that for a reason. Everybody has like a comfort zone when you're doing videos and stuff like that. I get that, right? There's some people who feel more comfortable in their home office or here or there or whatever. I get all of that. But the thing that strikes me is when I was thinking about this, as far as that's an intentional action that you continually do that nonstop. Because my whole thing was this: if you were going to apology video on the couch with your wife, why could you never do a video at home on the couch talking about something? Because maybe that she didn't believe the things that you were saying. Maybe she might rebut some of those things. Like, I don't know. It was just interesting to me that the vehicle, right, pun intended, that you used was to talk out of your car. Why did you do that for so many years? Like, what was the motive and plan behind that? And a lot of y'all have made jokes and memes saying he was on his way to some girl house or whatever. I'm not going to go there. But I'm just saying that to me might express a lot, that you feel like you have to be isolated in a vehicle away from everybody to speak things that you could not speak around others. Just saying. The body language I saw also with him squeezing his wife's hand. I'd love to look at your comments on the internet, and y'all are blowing up about that. There were a couple things there. Like, he was squeezing it so tight, almost threatening. Like I heard a lot of women say, "I fell for her." Like, sis, blink if you need help. That kind of thing. Which to me was a little like, there was even a time where he said, "I'm here with my wife," and he tapped his own hand against himself. Like, he squeezed his hand, like, of his other hand. Like, it was kind of weird. But also I just thought that the body language of him, like, propelling her forward, like she was kind of pressed forward while he was in the back. Just putting her again on Front Street, where a woman has to be by your side after you've made the indiscretions, right? He said she did nothing wrong. Like, you did this, but now her one time that she's on video is not from a positive standpoint. It's from cleaning up your mess and trying to save your brand and business, which I thought was very unfortunate. I thought her presentation, I mean, there's been a lot of jokes, people talking about her black bonnet and her outfit. You knew you was coming on camera and stuff like that. But I felt like that was like deeper. I felt like that was almost, for me, a sign of distress of where she was at, where she was like, I've tried everything to look good for this man. I mean, I've seen her IG, like that. I don't know what her favorite outfit was, but I don't think that was her favorite outfit. And to me, it was kind of like a woman who was defeated and like gave up. Was like, no matter what I wear, he's not going to change. He's going to continue to cheat on me like he has when I was pregnant, and then he did this and that. Like, when you heard those things, and it just like made you think like, dang, like, we're watching a woman now who's given up. If you look at her eyes, she was in a sunken place, because she's felt so disrespected so many times over the years that only thing she can rely on is God. You know what I mean? Like, that to me was a sad thing. And I mean, and I just felt like I don't know how they talked about this, but I don't think that this video was just like, oh, by the way, and she was cleaning the house and he's like, let's do a video real quick. I'm sure there was some thought and some effort that went into this video. So her being able to present herself, I'm sure that option was available to her to present herself in a better manner, especially when you don't do videos with him and it's your first time doing it with him, and you just look like, you know what I'm saying, you cleaning the house. I just thought that was not a good look for her. And then it also changed the narrative with now she dominates the conversation of what she has on, rather than people talking about the indiscretions of what Derrick was doing. And we saw that, like, him talking in the third person, the apology video, the video he did in the car where he said he's going to do a third person talking about him and his wife. There are a lot of people saying that's to absolve himself of responsibility. Like, Derrick Jaxn, the brand, cheated on her, not me, right? Not me. Derrick Jaxn did it, not me. And I just feel like, y'all, I think the beautiful part about this whole thing is we can learn so many valuable lessons from this. If you have a friend who may be in a situation like that where she is with a narcissistic man who is controlling her and doing those kind of things, now you can see the byproduct of that, like, that's come out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can see like how this plays out, and a lot of this treatment or behavior does not change. So I would say, reach out to your friend more, like, love on her more, like, let her know that you're there for her. Let her know her worth and what she's capable of. And this kind of treatment is not acceptable in any way. But also, we have people like Derrick that we probably know, right? In our family, in our friend group, maybe, and colleagues or whatever. I think it brings a heightened awareness to how we deal with those folks too. Because it seems like he's so systematic about how to do this. And I got to push this book. Rather than taking a step back. And my advice, dude, just take some time for yourself, bro. Seek therapy. Like, see what has gone wrong that's gotten you to this place. Not just the cheating, but just the narcissistic behavior, even after the cheating, and the denial of certain things. When he's saying we had a sexual relationship, but we didn't have sex, and all these little riddles and puzzles and things that he's doing, I feel like we need to really pay attention to and really and do better in. All right, so we close with Derrick Jaxn. I want to hit me in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys and hear what you have to say about it, what you feel about it, what your thoughts of it were. There are points that you feel like you agree with me, you disagree with me. Either way is fine, but I would like to hear from you guys. I know so much that to uncover and unpack, and where you go from here. And secondly, this episode, in closing, I just want to talk about the Kirk Franklin tape. I didn't hear all the different things that Kirk Franklin said afterward. I chose to kind of just, I guess I'll go back to it. But I just wanted to tell you guys my personal opinion. First of all, Kirk Franklin, I met him once, and he was very, very nice, very, very humble. Gave myself, my friends some time. We just talked to him at a restaurant. Actually, he sat in the booth with us, and very, very humble guy and very nice guy. And I think that we have to sometimes separate the man or woman from the ministry, right? I know that's hard, and I know we're like, what? But sometimes people always want to take your gift and combine it with your life, right? We are all flawed individuals, many of us trying to do right by things. I think there's two teaching moments here. I don't think Kirk should have talked to his son that way, and I don't think his son should talk to Kirk that way. I think those are both unhealthy behaviors that we cannot normalize, and I think that we have to do better with that. A lot of people curse their kids out. I've been to, on the train station and stuff, and seeing parents and mothers cuss their little kids out. Them kids be 4 years old cussing them out. You think they were talking to a grown man at the casino or something. Like, it was just, I don't know. It was off-putting, like, to do that. And I think Kirk has to ask himself what took him to that place that he felt like he had to go there, right? The second thing is his son. We know that, the Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother, that your days will be long upon the earth. I try to honor my parents. I'm trying to live a long time. I mean, you know what I mean? And that's what God wanted me to do. But no, I think he didn't honor his dad by what he said either. Like, yeah, like kind of provoking him. But I think the bigger point here is, let's not normalize this behavior. Let's not say, we do a lot of stuff as black people. It's funny stuff like, oh, yeah, I got whooped by a century cord when I was younger. This happened to me. And we laugh it off. And sometimes we laugh through our pain and laugh through our trauma. But let's look at something and say, here, like, that wasn't right. That wasn't cool. But I will say this. If somebody judged you based upon the worst thing you've ever said, and they recorded that and put that on the internet, how do you think you will be perceived? Just ask yourself that question. Your worst day, your worst moment in your life where you said some things that you just know you shouldn't have said, right? And that was put out to the mainstream, and your coworkers and your church and your family and friends and neighbors and everybody saw it. How would you feel like that you would be perceived? You know what I mean? So I think I don't throw anybody away for their worst moment that they spoke, because a lot of things that can go into that. But I want Kirk and his son, hopefully they can get the counseling and that they need to heal that, because we need more black men and sons and daughters to like reconcile and to get this thing right. Time is short, man. Life is too short with this pandemic and everything has taught us. So hopefully they can get things right. But please, y'all, let's not normalize this. Let's not act like, oh, my parents cussed me out when I was young and look how I turned out. You might have still had some traumas, ma'am. You know what I mean? So let's do better with that. But hopefully, you know, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you think about the Kirk Franklin situation? And hopefully that we can, you know, hear more about that, and hopefully they can seek healing and things of that nature. All right. Well, that's it, y'all. That's all I got for you this week. It's Kickback Conversations. Hope y'all have a great week. Holla at your boy. Peace.